So this video highlights my NEET 2021 plan, and it's based on few of the toppers videos and few of the entrance coaching centers videos, and also based on what I experienced last year while preparing for NEET PG. So my original plan was a 300-day plan or a 10-month plan. This was what I wanted to do, and it is divided into the first 150 days and the second 150 days. So the second 150 days is the revision phase, and the first 150 days is the concept building phase. So what happens in the first 150 days? So this is the time where you're actually going to study, you're going to read notes, you're going to make notes, you're going to watch videos, and you're going to build your concepts. You're going to work on building concepts and strengthening whatever you already know. And this is when you watch videos, this is when you write notes, and this is basically when you're learning new things. And it's also important not to forget that even though this is the concept building phase, you have to make sure that you are solving MCQs every day, because as I saw in one of the videos, as one of the toppers said, it's an MCQ based exam, and the only way to top this exam is to solve MCQ. So picking up the art of MCQ solving is far more important than just learning concepts and learning theories and basically strengthening your theory. You have to know how to answer MCQs. So in the first 150 days, although majority, maybe 4 to 6 hours of your day will go in concept building and in watching videos and whatnot, you should make sure that you solve a minimum of 50 to 100 MCQ per day. So this is a bare minimum. So you have to at least 50 MCQ per day you have to solve. It's your choice whether you want it in the form of custom module or subject wise as in suppose you read anatomy today, so you solve only anatomy MCQs, or you read pharmac, you solve only pharmac MCQs. That is subject wise solving. You can do that, or you can do a custom module solving. So what custom module in Marrow is an option in the Marrow app, where you can just choose random questions from random subjects and just keep solving. So it's your choice what you want to do, but you have to make sure that you're doing 50 to 100 MCQ per day, and don't miss out. So even if you forget or you're too tired and you don't read concepts, it's okay. You want to take a break, it's okay. Even if you're not watching videos, it's okay. But make sure you solve MCQs. At least have 50 to 100 MCQs in the 150 days every day. So if you do 100 MCQs per day, you effectively cover 15,000 MCQs in just the first half of your preparation. So that will be really beneficial. So make sure MCQ solving is your priority. Always throughout your preparation, MCQ solving is the priority, and even in the concept building phase, you're doing 50 to 100 MCQ per day along with your notes and videos and whatnot. So a lot of people have doubts about how to split this 150 days. So medicine is so vast, you have 200 odd videos, you have so many lecture notes for medicine, the books are this big, and whereas these subjects like dermat, anesthesia are smaller. So what is an effective way of splitting? So one of the videos I saw had this technique, and I found it really useful. So you can just go through the websites online and the NEET website even to see the mark weightage each subject has. So I put that here in this video on the side. So you can see ophthalmology around 10 questions come from ophthalm, 45 from medicine plus dermat plus psychiatry, 45 from surgery plus anesthesia plus radio. So there is a mark split up. So let your preparation be based on that, or try to have it based on or have your priorities based on this mark split up. I'll give you an example on how to split the days. So I said earlier that we have 300 days. In that we are doing 150 and 150. So how will I divide the 150 concept building days perfectly to adjust all of this? So it's very easy. There's a formula actually. So for example, let's take medicine. Where is medicine? Okay, medicine alone is around 30. Let's exclude dermat, venereology and psychiatry. So medicine alone is around 30. So let's say 30 questions out of 300 are from medicine, and then you multiply that into the number of days. So that gives you 15 days. So you spend only 15 days for medicine. So if you're starting on April 1st and you're starting with medicine, you are going to allot April 1st to April 16th only for medicine, and not a day more, because this is not going to change. Even if you study medicine for 60 days, the number of questions from medicine is going to be constant. It is going to be 30. So don't have a strict limit, because you can end up reading medicine for even 2-3 months, and that's of no help here. So divide it like this, have 15 days, and how much ever you finish in that 15-day period, stick to that, limit to that. You've done suppose you've done CNS, CVS and RS, you couldn't do per abdomen and rheumat, forget it. You finish this, let's go to the next subject. Similarly, if physiology comes for 15 marks, you do the calculation again. So 15 out of 300 comes from physiology into 150. And when you divide, you get something like 7.5 days. So roughly 8 days. Now here's the fun part. So anesthesia may come for around 10 marks, let's assume, or dermat. And so you calculate once more and you get around 5 days. But you might be able to finish anesthesia even in 2 or 3 days. So you can use the extra days for subjects like medicine, which is very difficult to finish in 15 days. But make sure you have a set limit and you're not exceeding those limits, because you can actually end up doing one subject for your whole study period, and that is not at all beneficial. So have a fixed plan, and this isn't just an easy way to split up the days, but it's up to you how you want to split it. This is just a formula that I used and that I thought would be useful. So the first 150 days are done. You have built your concepts, you have solved MCQs every day, and you have done 50 to 100 MCQs a day. Let's say 100 MCQs a day, because that's what I would recommend. And hopefully you've done it from the custom module, because the advantage of doing custom module over subject based is you read one subject, you solve MCQs of that subject, you get a false feeling of, oh yeah, I'm doing really good, oh yeah, I know everything. But then when you revisit those MCQs, you're not going to do as well, because it's in your recent memory. Whereas if you do custom modules, one thing is you cover a lot of subjects. Questions from all 19 subjects come in 100 question custom module. Secondly, you are reading high yield points of each subject. So the question bank and these questions are based on what is frequently asked. These questions are not just random questions or random MCQs. They are based on what is frequently asked. All the 18,000 questions in the Marrow Q bank are of some significance, and that's why they're there. So they're all high yield points, and going through the question bank is the best way to revise and the best way to study. So if you finish, like I said, there are 18,000 questions. So if you follow the plan, you will finish this question bank 3 times. And if you finish this question bank 3 times, then you're really going to do well, because I finished 15,000 questions or so in my 1 month of preparation. Just once I couldn't finish the Q bank, and I can confidently say I got 100 to 120 questions from the Q bank, or variants of what came from the Q bank, and that is a big number. So let's just say that if you do the Q bank thrice, there's a high probability you'll get 200 plus out of 300 questions from the Marrow Q bank itself. So focus on doing questions every day, and that's the real highlight of this whole video. And that's all I want to say is focus on MCQs. There are a lot of people who are just reading notes for 1 year, 1.5 years, and not able to do well in the exam. There are some people who just do MCQs for 1 or 2 months and end up doing better. So that's how this exam is, that's how the pattern is. And when you do MCQs, it's always an active learning. One thing is, when you're reading, you read 10 points, you pick up to maybe 50% of 2 points, and you may even forget that soon. But when you solve MCQ, you're thinking about it, you're answering it, you're getting it wrong, and then you obviously have to read the explanation. It's not just you solve MCQs and go forward. Marrow gives a beautiful explanation below each MCQ. It is very important and vital to read that explanation also, and to know where your thinking was wrong, and then correct your thinking. So you're not only learning a point, but you're finding out where or what the fallacies of your thinking are. The way you think, what's wrong in that line of thinking, and you're correcting your line of thinking. And how to answer is as important as what to answer. So you learn how to answer also when you do MCQs. So that 150 days are done, concept building is done. So the next 150 days are further divided into 75 days and 75 days. And this first 75 days is called the rapid revision phase. So what you do in the rapid revision is basically you halve everything you did in the first 150 days. It's simple, just half it. So if you spend 15 days for medicine in the first 150 days, now you're going to just do 7.5 days or 7.5 days of medicine. Here you focus on reading and revising what you've already read, and you can add a few points, maybe learn 1 or 2 more units more. So like I said, you finish CNS, CVS, RS, you want to do GIT and you want to do GIT and Rheumat. So you can do that in the spare days after your revision. So the rapid revision phase, you do this and you increase your MCQ quota to 200 MCQ a day. This is very important. You're gone from 100 to 200 by now. Okay, and this is going to keep going up with each step. You are still solving subject wise and you are solving custom module. And even during the revision, if you can just go through your notes quickly and then solve subject wise of the topics you revised, it will be really helpful. Okay, so the next 75 days are done. So now you have the last 75 days left. This again I'm going to divide into 45. and 30. So these 45 days, you again, you can still revise your notes, but no new learning. You're not going to learn anything new in this phase. You're just going to revise what you already know, because it is far worse to learn new things in the end and go to your exam and not answer the things that you knew very well. So revision is key. So in the last 45 days, or these 45 days, you're going to revise your notes. You're going to revise whatever you saw. No videos, no more videos, just notes. And you're going to up it to 250 to 300 MCQ per day. Okay, 250 to 300 MCQ per day. Last 30 days, again divide into 15 and 15. The first 15 days, you're going to go up to 400 MCQ per day, and you can revise notes if you want, but I would just recommend doing 400 MCQ and studying those MCQ well. And the last 15 days, so your exam is right there, and you're just 15 days in or 15 days away. And what you do in this phase is, firstly, you want to only do MCQs at this point, nothing else, and you want to try and do more of your recent NEET MCQs, and also recent AIMS MCQs, because NEET has a tendency to copy questions from AIMS and base questions on what AIMS did. So recent NEET and recent AIMS MCQs you have to follow in the last few days. You can use it to revise your formulas, if there are any formulas, or any memory based points which you felt, or things you kept forgetting. And most importantly, at this point, you are doing 500 to 600 MCQ per day. 500 to 600 MCQ per day. It is a lot, but it is needed, and you will realize how beneficial it is when you go to write the exam. Like I said, you want to pick up the art of solving MCQs. It's not just about reading theory or learning theory, but you also want to know how to solve MCQs, and this is an MCQ based exam, so you have to know that very point. And lastly, one thing which you have to do throughout your preparation is your grand tests. So Marrow has these grand tests which are like 300 questions, and they actually simulate NEET. So do grand tests weekly or whenever they are out. Okay, always do grand tests and monitor your progress, because then only you'll see that you're improving. And if you're not improving, then you got to find out what's wrong, right? So monitor your progress, keep doing grand tests. And if you do a grand test, it's around 300 questions, so you can't revise it all in one shot, because you're spending one whole day nearly for doing the grand test. So you revise it throughout the week. Spend 30 minutes per day revising your grand test answers for that week. So you have to do grand test, because this helps you know if you're improving, and it also simulates NEET, and you get faster answering questions, and you know what to expect from the exam. So the take home, or the in brief, if I were to revise what we discussed, the first 150 days you learn new concepts and you solve 100 MCQ per day. The next 150 days, for the first 75 days, you solve 200 MCQ per day, and you revise what you learned in the first 150 days and add few new concepts. Then in the last 75 days, in the first 45 days, you go up to 300 MCQ per day. In the last 30 days, you go up to 400 MCQ per day, and in the last 15 days, you go up to 600 MCQ per day. And at this point, you're not learning anything new. You're just revising what you already know. So this is the last point for adding new stuff. And the last 75 days, you're just revising and solving. And please make sure you solving MCQs is the only way to crack NEET, and it is an active type of learning. It is the best way to learn, and you will be able to change your thought process. And once you solve so many MCQs, the answers also just start coming naturally to you, and you just start feeling, okay, this seems like it could be the right answer. It just happens as a feeling. And when you solve a lot of MCQs, you'll end up getting that. So that's my strategy. That's what I did. These are things that I found beneficial, and I hope it helps you guys too. Thank you.